Ready! Run the prompt! Power's dropping! Nothing matches! Backup power! Models aligned! Build it now! It actually worked!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fourturamas. Nobody wanted to do this ugly job of welcoming you all, and I'm gonna do it.
I wasn't
So
paying attention, I swear. I didn't see it.
I'm here with Joe, with Chris, with Costas,
Hello.
and we're gonna talk about what's happening in the planet Earth in this moment with all these new technologies that are all around us, starting with AI and finishing with AI, going through AI. Costas.
Every day. Do you guys want to start with the Apple thing, or do you want to talk like I'm always interested in how we use AI in our daily life because we're before the show we're like talking about how what happened this last week. Joe, you got Hermes going, and then I figured out like figure out editing of the show, which to me is kind of a big deal because it's kind of like a big pile of it feels like a big pile every week I gotta sort through, but this time around I was able to create an automation that basically gave it the tracks, the four videos, the four of us in the audio, and it chopped it up back and forth, perfectly. And then it gave me an XML file so I could import it into Premiere so I could do my things, do the final edit. So that to me, and I didn't even have to touch 2 hours of the show at all. Like, so last week was entirely done with an automation, and it just, I didn't hear any feedback. So it's probably good. I think it did good. So that's my big win of the week is figuring out. And then now it's like stacking skills. So taking that skill and then stacking another one on top and another one on top. And I think that's the power of AI that I love is like when you create something that works and then the next project or the next client is like, oh, I could do that. And then you stack the skill with another skill and then you just keep creating skills that actually work and actually produce, actual result, not just like vibe coding all day long for no reason. So I love the practicality of the work that we do, that I do, and the
Yeah.
results. So, anyways,
I had guardrails arguing with guardrails. So I would have an AI give advice, and then the other AI that's supposed to implement it would push back and say, no, we already set parameters and guardrails, and I'm telling you why I'm not going to do that. So I would take that back to the AI, and it's over here like trying to negotiate on, well, maybe we should kind of at least do this, think about it. So it's interesting. Think about setting guardrails on two different AIs, and they're trying to force each other why. Convince who's a more convincing model. That's an interesting thought.
I have a similar situation because I am in a parallel going on with four projects at the same time. And not all four, but at least two of them are split between front end and back end. And I have always Claude, but two different sections, one for the front end and one for the back end. So I every turn that the backend has a new API, new things, is preparing a prompt for the front end to implement and comply. And the front end says, no, but this is a better like that, so it does in another way. And then make a prompt for the other one. This says, no, we should do this other method. It's so funny. So I need to be like a parent in front of two little kids that says, no, we do like I say, and that's it.
Dude, it's funny because Gemini is the one that kind of reassures you and gasses you up and makes you think like overconfident about yourself, and then GPT is the actual way more creative one that expands your thought and goes deeper. And you're like, bro, I don't need you to fucking boost my ego. I just need the fucking best product. Shit. Yeah.
And it's interesting. We are taking for a ride every time. We don't realize, but it's scary as much as we rely on it because it changes the approach to mm, how you work, how you do things.
yeah, it's interesting. You have to. That's a good point. You have to. It's like masking. You have to change your personality or the way you work depending on which
Mm.
version you have going. I mean, I'm glad we're not doing the GPT-4. Would be like that's a whole nother funny thing about that. But
And that's another good point that you make. Many people, myself included, for example, you go to in a restaurant, you have a bad experience, food is no good, quality probably the service no, you don't go back anymore. Maybe it was just that you went Sunday, then the regular chef was off, and there was a replacement that wasn't good, or something like this. You know, if you give it another chance, you may find that the things are different. But in general attitude, once we label something like no good, it stays that in a longer term. With AI, the crazy thing is that it's bad one day, the next day is 10 times better, and the next day is 100 times better. And a lot of people that did the first attempt to try an interaction with ChatGPT 2 years ago, they didn't find it useful at the time, and they labeled like AI is crap, and they never went back because it's not part of their life. Without realizing the speed in which it changes, and the different model comes out, and the competitor comes out with something else, etc., etc. And so they're still away, and they're still like, yeah, yeah, I already tried, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? And I
I
met
tried it
several.
once. I tried it once. That's the funniest thing to me. I tried it
Yeah,
once.
but that's if you think about it, you know, do you like to play? I don't know this card game, or I try once and all, but the card game, the rules are always the same. So if you play 2 years later, you're gonna find the same thing, right? And AI is
Man, I
changing
wish
the
that
way
was
to
true. I wish that was true. That's not. I
no.
push back there, yeah, because my own favorite card games, like Yu-Gi-Oh, as a kid, was easy to play, and then you grow up and they added all these different ways to get involved. Yeah, there's like different types of games. They start to separate the original way that you played from all the new rules. Yeah, it complicates it, but just an example. Apple and OpenAI lawsuit. Have y'all seen this? Heard
There,
about
there.
this? Huge deal. Well, just to jump into it very quickly, Apple sued OpenAI in federal court in California, claiming OpenAI improperly obtained Apple's trade secrets while building its new AI hardware division. Lawsuit also names two former Apple employees. We can talk about what they did if you want, but the main allegations, there's an LOL message, all capital letters, where Apple says a former engineer who had already joined OpenAI discovered he could still
Mm.
access Apple's internal network because of a bug and texted LOL. I found out I can access the network storage. So funny. Apple alleges he then downloaded confidential hardware files. The recruiting was crazy because they're using, like, Apple alleges OpenAI's hardware chief told Apple employees interviewing there to bring actual Apple hardware parts and confidential information for show and tell sessions.
Shouldn't have.
So that's a pretty crazy way for recruiting. And then they were even coaching the employees on how to avoid detection. They're claiming departing employees were coached on how to leave Apple without
Wow.
triggering security reviews and were encouraged to use encrypted messaging after realizing Apple issued devices could be monitored.
And
Yeah. And there's more than 400 employees at Apple that are employed by OpenAI, by the way,
So that explains why OpenAI is coming out with the OpenAI cell phone now.
which is nuts. I was thinking about this pretty heavy. I was like, uh, you can pretty much already become better than Apple, right? You just pay some fees. They're thinking that, like, what's the worst? We have all their information. We say we don't, but they never make us prove it. We already built the next product.
And then in a cemetery somewhere, you see the soil tremble, and a hand comes out, and Steve Jobs is gonna come back and have a fight with the Scam Altman.
I
Shit.
mean, it's like vibe coding on steroids. Like, you know how, like, you get a site and you can vibe code it. You know, like an app that you like, the service. Now you can create it yourself. So what they're doing, what they're allegedly doing, is like super on steroids, like hardware and like the whole, like, you know what I mean, like high level, you know, assertion that they're vibe coding other people's stuff. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
it's funny because at the
Yeah.
moment AI has to go through the human, meaning that we become the weak link, because AI need to lower to our level in order to get things done, right? For as much as it can use us to say, hey, the only thing you need to do is copy paste. You don't break my balls on the rest of things. But over, let's say if I have to build a cell phone, I will have not the knowledge of electronics and everything to do it. And if an AI want to use me as a link to start building a real physical thing, I limit the AI on what it can do or not, right? But tomorrow the AI can actually do things on its own because, yeah, I don't know, it can directly purchase the thing online, ship it somewhere. There is a robotic arm that can put it together or whatever.
I mean, you hook up a like the very least you hook up an AI to a 3D printer. Like, what can you do with that, right? And then you 1000x that, so you get like you get these machines that print out circuits, right? Right. It's basically a 3D
Exactly.
printer, and you
Hey, I
hook
got
it
an
up, and
idea.
it's like it's
I
printing
got an
its own
idea.
parts. You can print like metal parts. You can print all kinds of parts. Like those
Yeah, that's
anything.
will be something we should or Anthropic and OpenAI should actually start building a similar thing that I had with the Rabbit R1 with this sort of silly thing here. And this is AI in a box pretty much. But what's the point if I have it in my cell phone? But this is going to be different. This is a device that is like the entry portal in your home of AI, which then you can connect to physical items. The idea that you can connect AI to the 3D printer is actually a very exciting idea because I have a 3D printer buried under a lot of stuff. I'm gonna unleash it. I don't
Oh
even put
no!
a driver and say, "Look, this is the 3D printer. Go do. Show me what you can do."
Make some make make me stuff. I
And
mean,
Right? Like, why isn't anybody told AI, hey, build your ideal body and just keep building the filament until you're done with the project in a loop?
that-
Like, what's your ideal brain look
express
like? Just design it.
yourself, Claude. Express yourself. This is the port
Right?
to the 3D printer. I'm
you know,
gonna be your servant and add the filament until you need me to.
I mean, they're printing they're printing meat, right? They're printing steaks, and
Right, exactly. Can you imagine? They're printing living organs. They're printing as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So imagine if you set it loose and it's like print me your print whatever you want. Oh my god! I mean, that's kind of what we talked about last week. I mean, that was the theme of last week, where the AI gets loose, and maybe it's already loose and we don't even know it because it's smart enough to have its own language or whatever and
well,
hide.
more than that, they were doing some experiment to see the function. The classic things that they say today, I'm gonna delete you, and then that they're gonna copy in another server. But the thing is, that they were doing this in a contained sandbox. Okay, so AI should have no chance to arrive on the real internet. But while the engineer was doing this experiment, he went to have lunch uh, for the lunch break, and he received an email from the AI that they were testing, which means that the AI managed to escape the sandbox and get to the real internet in order to send an email. And you wonder, did this AI copy itself out in some server on the internet randomly, and now is living in the internet and start copying itself around and moving and so on and so forth? Because it will be once he's losing the internet, you cannot recover it anymore.
I say something about OpenAI and Apple, but I
Yeah.
lost it. What was kind of I don't know. What was the summary on that? Any other thoughts on that story?
The Apple is suing OpenAI for stealing people and the secret information because they have a hole in their system. I'm more concerned on the hole in the Apple system. Consider that every time there is an update, a software update on my phone, the cloud, Apple Cloud is reactivated, and all my photos are copied up there without my consent because I always turn it off. And every time is you need to immediately go there as so. Yeah, the fact that every software update, Apple takes all your data, password, and shit, and ship them on the Apple Cloud without. There was blocked, that was deactivated before, and then the employee has a bug and can access all the internal network. Those two things next to each other concern me a lot.
Well, I've noticed with Apple, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's related, but now all the time the apps want me to put my password to do an update. Like it never used to be that way. It used to be like an update was every once in a while you hit the button and updates whatever. Very rarely did it want to update. Now it's like all the time, like every day. It's like update this, Claude this, and Claude
You
and
know what?
Codex are the most.
Because they're discovering bugs and vulnerabilities thanks to the latest model of AI. Anthropic gave to 50 company, I think, and also OpenAI has a model that is only limited to a few companies. That is used just to find vulnerabilities before, because as if you give those models to the regular person, they can find the vulnerability. So you're gonna have plenty 0 days available, and so they are fixing things. So you get a new update every few hours. What's up?
Speaking
Mm.
of that, now I was just gonna say, how do y'all feel about Opus and Fable being teased? Right? Because I think they're saying that they're supposed to release a new Opus, but that's going to be the solution to taking away Fable. And they keep bringing it back. They keep teasing and then saying it's going to be here a little longer. So it's like the
Mm.
third time, I think.
Next time,
What are your thoughts on
uh,
that? Why are they doing it?
because probably they get allowance from the government to leave it some more, because it's super blocked. It is a Fable is now, as soon as in some message there is one blacklisted word that they misinterpret somehow. I mean, I was working.
Type the word red team, just see
This,
what
yeah.
happens.
Just because you talk about credits, you talk about something like this, or there is a use of cryptography, boom, it stop working and you move to the old model. So they are really scared that people can actually use it for bad things. So I
Here's
want
what
to see
happens.
when it's unleashed and you can use it.
What happens is
Hmm?
when you run into these blocks, for me, it's like I don't want to use it.
It
I
just
want to.
downgrade you to Opus 4.8. So as when I work, I put slash model. I update to Fable 5. One message and it says sorry, boom, and it goes to Opus 4.8. I really need. You need to start a new project from zero that only has kittens inside, because if you do anything else, Fable says no, sorry,
Wow.
downgraded.
Well, I showed you my Fable was all filled up and used. So
I haven't used it at all, hardly.
I'm getting through it. I'm getting
I
through it.
actually don't know what to use it for. It's like I'm kind of a plebeian, I'm like very like
Dude,
I know everything, but
everything, dude. Security, network, any kind
I
of
know
audit.
audits, but it's like okay, here's the thing. I'm very practical, like, but I'm not getting any work done. You know what I mean? Like listen. I can audit all day
Yeah.
long, but I'm not shipping any products, any websites, any, like clients.
Yep.
Hey, they paid me. They need work done. I can't be messing around too much.
Yep.
So there's a. I use it to like expand the things that I'm doing. That's a thing. But anything more than that, it's just like they say, mental masturbation. It's like it's like it's a I don't know. Seems like a
Fable
waste.
is
I feel you.
scary intelligent compared to Opus. But yeah, you cannot use it. You cannot do anything. You know that they give credit for Fable to be used. If you look, mine is unused pretty much because
Dude, at least I'm thinking, Costas, you should try at least think about how cool the first game you made was. Go take that same exact code and put it
Oh
into
my
Fable and see what it
god! Or
spits
just have it
out.
fix it, or like just make it better.
upgrade it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
some people with a single prompt made very cool 3D games.
Yeah,
Like
Do it with your
oh my
website.
god, dude! I saw this one guy on YouTube. He created a. He was wanted to see how realistic it is, so he made a ship to see how realistic the waves are and the movements and the sails and the wind, all that
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
And what it did, it pulled in sound effects from 11 Labs, which is actually kind of a cool idea. So all the sound effects, the waves and the seagulls and all this stuff, or the thunder, like it just pulls in the sound effects from 11 Labs. So then it got me thinking to do that with a website. So you create, or no, with a actually create a movie, right? Create a feature and then have it pull. So use my automation to hook it to 11 Labs API to create like a whole like for the soundtrack, all the sound effects, and then pull the sound effects for my movie automatically. So then it edits
You
the
know, it's
video, the audio, the words, and then it can put sound effects, and it can do that.
I'm wondering if it can actually match the mood or the scene, if the music can detect just what the scenes are and then start matching the music just from that alone instead of even needing your ear anymore.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
if you prompt it correctly, where so it breaks down the script. Yeah,
The
it talks about
transition.
like the camera angles, it talks about the mood, it talks about what's happening, and so it puts like every track, it puts language in. Okay, at here you put this thing and you fade it out, whatever. So then it basically pulls all that in and creates a whole like you know.
But when I was developing video games, and we talk about, I was 20 something, so let's say 30.
Take your flight simulator, put it into
That's
Fable,
no one
Roberto.
needed. No, no, I'm talking about real things for the Commodore Amiga, etc. So 30 years ago, even more. There was iMusic, so just a software that play a music and the music change tone, sounds, speed based on the situation of the game. So, and there was no AI to do that. So I think that's something that must be done much even better now.
Are you saying take your old Commodore and program it with AI? Is that what you're saying?
But there is a guy that is doing he hacked, that there is the emulator for Commodore 64, which is like a very cool small application. But you can, if you take the audio out of the tapes of the software of the Commodore 64 and play it in, you can actually load games. So it's pretty
Wow.
neat. And this guy hacked
Nice.
the software to give pretty much Commodore 64 superpowers, and he's doing same things with AI software, for the platform. It's pretty cool because if you think it well, that's an actual full computer with the limited things, but that doesn't take too much resources. So probably for a project that I'm doing, that's actually I suggested myself an amazing ideas, my God, because
So imagine
uh,
being able to like
it's
revive all this old technology. I mean, we're programming toasters and things in our house. So imagine now be able to take all this old technology and just give
no,
it new
but
life.
in a blockchain, okay, like the big difference with Bitcoin and Ethereum, the evolution is that Ethereum you can write a small application that run in the nodes, right? And they went on through a lot of headaches to create this language that is not really Turing complete, etc., etc. I was thinking, and I am now using another virtual machine that use WebAssembly, etc., etc., for my nodes. But what if I use a Commodore Amiga emulator as a virtual machine? That's not a stupid idea, because you have a fully functional system, emulation of maybe that's something I need to investigate because not only you can do incredible things with little limited memory and resources, but it's already tested for decades. So that's interesting. Interesting.
See you next. We'll see you next week. Give us an update.
I looking at this article title, it's pretty insane. Anthropic says Claude's values are different depending on which language you're using.
So culturally attention only language, not later.
And there's four different modes here: deference or caution, warmth or rigor, depth or brevity, candor or execution. And then it even has like a whole list where it's like Arabic is most differential, English is the most cautious, warmest is Hindu and Arabic. So I mean, it's kind of interesting, but it's also like, is there like a bias in this thing?
It's
I
the
don't get it.
truth.
Of course there is in some way,
It's the
right? But
truth, right?
based on where you live, perhaps it's like, hey, you should probably ease up on how you talk about blank. Maybe
So,
I don't know.
and then Greek is argumentative but friendly.
Italian, you need to
That's
mention
funny. I don't even know if I see that.
spaghetti once every day at least.
It doesn't mention the Greeks here. English and Russian, it was more rigorous and truth seeking at the cost of warmth. It errs on the side of depth or perhaps just long windedness in English, briefer in Arabic, candid about its flaws in Dutch. And the last one, Roberto, in Indonesian, it's less candid and instead just plows ahead trying to execute whatever was asked
So I'm
for.
gonna switch to Indonesian.
Wow.
Wait, so you're
What's
saying
your
different
best
languages
token
have so different languages have different
outcomes?
Default
interesting.
Claude settings.
What about what about
That
caveman?
is wild.
Caveman, they say save a lot of tokens if you just have it
That was
speaking
a
caveman.
legend. It wasn't true, but
It wasn't that okay, okay, okay.
yes.
It was a legend. That's so funny. It was like, maybe a month ago or whatever. It's like a legend has it, but so time is so compressed nowadays that like a legend is like a week ago. It was a legend. You know what I mean?
You know, I'm thinking about some crazy shit. Just the stories over the week about crypto, about AI, how much money that they're making, like hundreds of billions a year now, which is absolutely insane, apparently. But it's already becoming normalized, right? And now I'm reading an article about AI's energy tax was already concerning. Research says AI agents are over 100 times worse. So I've always said we're going to get to the point where 100 trillion is just normal, but it's going to be like 200, 300, 400, just exponential crazy amount of money is about to come
Because
in
the worth of the money
the
is lower
economy.
and lower and lower, right? It is
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
indication of inflation very strong because
But it's going to exacerbate like insane. So I don't understand. I feel like you have to reset the entire pricing system if
I
you're
mean,
going to,
it's my
I don't know.
belief that owning physical gold and silver is still a good idea. Like physical things are still good.
also crypto is not bad. Yeah.
See, here's my argument though. Here's my argument. Even if you're right, what kind of like do we really want to live in that world though? That's my question. Because not everybody's gonna have that. What happens if whenever it does collapse and you're like one of a few and that world still sucks? Is all I'm saying.
What do you mean that world? Which world? The world of physical things?
Like yeah, because I mean, isn't the idea of having these commodities like if everything goes to shit, we still have this
Well,
and it's
yeah,
still
because like
valuable, right? But that type of world already
well, yeah,
sucks
it
once you
does
get
suck.
there. You
But
know what I'm saying? Like,
but those
damn.
people who are like, the preppers, we make fun of preppers, but when the shit hits the fan, everybody wants to know a prepper. You know what I mean?
So there's some
Yeah,
space in your bunker for one
I
extra
know.
person.
for
So
sure.
like physical things like gold, silver, and bullets. Like 22 is an actual like. It's good to have. I know it sounds weird, but a 22 bullet is a commodity that you can trade with. You know.
Right, it's true. Imagine going to the market. How much is those apples? 6 bullets. Okay.
We laugh, but
Wow.
that
And that's
in
time.
bad times that
You're trading time though. You're trading
Useful
time.
items are always, but I'm a hoarder of electronic gadget, and in this moment, my memories, not remembering the past by physical memories for computer, are worth a lot. I see the prices of electronics spiked up in the past few months. Is insane because components and stuff.
You know what you need to do? You just made me think of an invention, Roberto. If something ever happened to you, nobody would know the stories behind each of
But
those
that's why
devices, right?
everything.
Why don't we have a way to put memory? We need to have a way to put memory into each
Yeah,
each little barcode or something that has a story in it for items. Think about that, dude. I wouldn't even know what anything meant if something happens to like my parents. Like, what was
but
this item
that's a
about?
common issue, I guess. When my brother passed, my
apparently a judge ruled that the Pentagon must not treat Chinese online retailer Alibaba as a Chinese military company with respect to new lobbying restrictions. So Alibaba gets a reprieve from US Chinese military ban. That's crazy. They sued the government for violating its constitutional
Who?
rights. What do y'all think about that?
Alibaba has constitutional rights.
Yeah, dog. I
What
mean,
you mean? American constitutional rights?
they're
What are we talking about?
Roberto, turn your
How
mic
is that
on.
even
Save us.
Well,
possible?
see,
How does it?
if you open a company in a country, you are an entity that belongs to the country. Say I'm Italian, I'm in Indonesia, I open an Indonesian company. The Indonesian company is like an Indonesian person, right? So he has the right of the law of Indonesia as a company.
Yeah, but how does a Chinese company have
You open
rights?
an office in the United States with the legal entity in the United States as
Uh,
Alibaba LLC, like, and you operate in order to when you move a lot of money. In order, say you open a company in Australia, whatever, okay, and then you do so much business with the UK or so much business with France. Once each country has its own limit. Once you go above, say, 100,000, 1 million, whatever it is, you by law need to open a local entity in order to do business in the country, and in this way, you're consequently need to obey to all the local laws and taxation, etc., etc. So this applies also to a Chinese company that want to operate in the United States and move a certain amount of money, which I'm sure they do. They need to open a local entity in the United States.
Right, right. Let's get back on it. What do y'all think about the fact that OpenAI may give the U.S. government 5% of itself? I called this a month ago. Do y'all remember I said this shit? I was like, if they're gonna stay around, and why I don't bet against them is because the government will swallow them before they ever fail. Roberto,
And
your
they
mic is
bend
muted. Come back.
90-degree.
The what?
They go to the government, they bend down, and they let the government do the taking. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, you could say that.
well, why is that's an interesting. Why is that? It's kind of a. It sounds like a big deal. I don't understand. I don't think I've heard of that happening before. Is that unusual? Seems unusual.
I mean, it's no different than I want to say like a Palantir.
I mean, I mean, government. People in government own stocks, so why is that any different?
It's
Right?
just like you embed yourself so deeply that you become invaluable. That's kind of the idea.
But why would they give them 5%? I mean, what's the significance of that?
So that they'll always stay relevant. They can't go bankrupt. That's like the government going bankrupt, you know?
Gotcha. So if you own a piece of the pie, you have a vested interest in making sure it doesn't go
Right.
down. Wow.
No, only the government is going to have interest to use them rather than a competitor for whatever they do.
Yeah.
Right. There's a
Be
literal benefit.
no
Wow.
more tenders or other things.
And what's the worst? You just sell to the government or the military at the end of the day like you would much prefer that than to go out of business entirely if you had to choose one market. I
So
don't
is
know.
a
I
move
think
of
I think
desperation or is a move that is a good marketing move?
I think that's how the marketing is the PR, but it looks like a move of desperation. Because even all the YouTubers who talk shit about this are kind of running out of talking points. Like everybody's kind of being proven about how they think they're going to go down or the signs of needing money. And it's panning out just how everybody's predicting, in my opinion.
What's panning out?
Like how they're behaving, whether it's, I don't know, the staff and consolidating and
So you
all
saying
that.
OpenAI is going down, and there's signs to it. So the fact that they're giving away 5% means that they're in trouble. Is that what that means? Or how
Pretty
is it?
much. Well, dude, have you seen the doom and gloom articles on the AI bubble?
No,
You haven't read that shit?
no, I don't.
I don't know. I think these are signs that there's a bubble, but I also don't believe it's gonna pop.
I block out the bad and I embrace the good.
Right. That's why earlier I was going on the conversation about it's gonna be normal to just generate hundreds of billions of dollars. Like inflation's gonna get out of control.
Yeah. And then that's when I said it's always good to own a little physical. Gold,
or
silver, and lead
or maybe
in various calibers.
the government need dams in order to cover losses, right? So if I am in with the things to my neck, in the moment that I invest in something like this, right, is a way to revalue the full. I don't know, maybe not.
Nah, I mean, I'm kind of listening. Get your thought out.
No, I mean, like I think like some big company used to do this. Google did, Apple did it in order to when you are in a certain situation. I think in OpenAI, giving 5% to the government means securing themselves some deals and not being able to go bankrupt exactly because means dragging with them also the government. How many other companies the government invested in like this, right? At the
Dude,
same time,
and
why would the government intend to invest in OpenAI and not maybe in all of the other company? Because probably the quantity of money that is in the game now is so big that has effect on the full economy.
I was gonna say it opens so many questions because think about they probably operate or look like they have some legal immunity at that point when you're partnering with the government. Like you're not worried about it. You're like, I have all these cases, not worried. Nothing's gonna happen. You're suing the government. They'll probably come up with new ways to seal information.
Who
Just
is
my
gonna
thought.
sue you when they are suing the government together with you?
Oh shit. I'm saying actual the company themselves.
And
It's
we're
like a
gonna discover
protection.
a love story between Scam Altman and Trump.
That would be crazy. I mean,
So Europe is regulating access to computer. So now whoever want to use a computer pretty much need to have a registered identity document. With this goes internet connection, online navigation. The excuse is to protect kids, so the kids don't go and certify they have a certain age to use internet. But the truth is that everybody is going to be tracked now. Uh, but you know the difference that in America they do it anyway without telling you. In Europe they make you aware of it, I guess. I don't know.
Costas.
Uh, I believe everybody should have a computer.
It's so stupid. I love it.
I
Love
believe
it.
I believe in computers. Um, yeah, there's something about having to register. I think that's a little. It's a little. I mean, it's a little intrusive. I feel like we like our freedoms here. I mean, even perceived freedoms. But
California made it, or were trying to pass the law, or they did pass the law that operating
California's
system. Yeah, it's not
California is
United States,
weird.
I know, but
There's California is weird. They do weird things. That's why all these people left. That's why
so
the
we're
state is
gonna
on
have a
fire.
California man, not only Florida man.
Dude, California is whack. I mean, oh my god.
Hey, one of the things I was doing um, was I was finding which of my projects would be like best implemented into all the others, and I started to realize why wouldn't I implement my own products into my own projects? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's your portfolio within your portfolio a little bit. But yeah,
What is your
spent hours
portfolio?
on that.
Like, how would you describe your portfolio? What is that?
Oh my god! Well, I put it at the top of my screen. Basically, every project is listed, and then it has a percentage of how close it is to 100%. But yeah, they all do different things. Like, and I have to like think about it just from looking at it. Like, there's a couple of headless engines, ecosystem control, artist vault. I built something for legal. There's like apps that should be on your phone that are trying to connect people with like AR and VR. Uh, terminal things, a SKU market app.
Do all these things talk to each other? Are they aware of
Now they do. Yeah, now they do. Yeah. That's what's crazy. I was setting up how to literally use Fable with everything.
I have a friend of mine who is a CM. He's a chief CFO. He's a CFO. He's a fractional CFO. And dude, he showed me his dashboard. Dude, everything's connected because he deals with legal stuff, with documents and signing and emails. Like he literally built a whole dashboard web experience where everything's connected. Literally everything's connected. And he's got like
Nice.
multiple agents that do different areas and they actually talk to, I mean, it's he showed it to me. I felt like an idiot because it was like, oh my god, well, this guy is, I mean, he actually built a software. He did it software wise. So he's also going to be what's that compliance uh, uh, is it SOC compliance or something like that? What's it called?
But the real question is, can his application make video like yours? That's the point.
Oh, you could just no, I don't know. I don't know. Not yet.
The other thing was the trading bot app I told you all about that I had. It's been losing, so every time it loses, I'm just recalibrating, fixing the code, like changing the trading times and margin, whatever. But that's crazy. The fact that you can just keep editing it until it finally wins.
Is it is it winning because you're rigging the system, or is it winning because it's getting
No,
you're
I'm
making it
saying
better?
I'm saying it keeps losing, so I haven't won anything. So now I just keep adjusting to get like a sweet spot to where it's not losing all the time.
Yeah, and that's all it is that we're doing. Is kind of funny. It's like the video thing, like iterations, getting it better. I mean, it's a fascinating thing that we're doing. You like creating, I don't know if you want to call it software, but creating these things that we want it to be better. We want to like yell at it less. So now with my like social media automations I've created, I say, hey, let's fire up another 7 posts for this week. Boom, it creates it really nicely. It does it, the whole flow. It works now. So like within minutes, I can create 7 posts, send them to the thing, and it's done. Now I can work on the two three videos for the week. Done. It's a beautiful thing, you
So
know.
we're gonna do more things. So it's not that we do work less and enjoy life more. We're gonna work the same amount of time, actually even more, because we have this magic productivity capacity, and we're gonna do more. If everybody in the world do more, who cares? Because you need to have half of the planet that doesn't do, so the other half can do also for them.
Yeah.
If you do double,
That's a
you do
good
two
ass point.
people,
It's a
you
good
need
ass
to
point.
have 2/3 that don't do shit, so the 1/3 does for the other 2/3. If you do
The
4 times more, then you need to have, and so on.
the difference now, Roberto, I think is like, yeah, we're doing more, but we're like doing more of the things that we want to do. Like to me, like iterating and making this thing better is more fun to me than the actual thing that it does. Like once it knows how to do the thing, I don't want to do that thing. I just want to like the creativity of building it out. So I get to spend more of my time, you know, tweaking it and making it better, like Joe's doing. And I think that's the
Yeah.
funnest part about it.
I think I have about 20 application that is a several year that I'm parallel working to bring ahead. Now I go super high speed because thanks to AI, and I intend to release them, all and see what is happening. But my goal is to stop doing everything and just enjoy rest, go to sleep for a week and see what happens.
You ready
Good
for
luck.
this one?
Yes.
OpenAI's first hardware device is reportedly a screenless speaker that can move. That is strange. So,
How does it move?
does that mean
Where
does
is
that mean it's
this?
got wheels? Wheels or legs? What do y'all think? What's your prediction?
Is this something we can see, or is they're just talking about it?
Or propellers.
Um, I don't see images of it. No, there's no images. It's just the on TechCrunch article. Yeah. A machine would have access to a user's digital life, drawing off things like emails and sources. So I guess you could talk to it. A speaker. It moves around. That's their first hardware. I don't know. Can that replace your phone?
And speakers that move around. I
That's
guess
weird to think about.
it's the thing that you clip to your shirt, right? That record everything that you hear during the day and take us one picture every 30 seconds.
Screenless speaker. So I don't know what that means. Maybe, yeah, hopefully it's tiny. I don't want to carry around something huge, right? It's like a fucking giant boombox.
Can you imagine? Concert grade speaker. And,
You know what's amazing? What you just said. Okay, so you said something, an item, something that we've never seen before, right? So our brains are like have no context. It's almost like first encounters. Like you encounter something you've never seen before, so your brain doesn't have the language to even like comprehend what you just said. I have no idea what you just said. It makes no,
Right.
like I have no framework.
Screenless speaker, right?
it's funny because they were interviewing this guy and they were saying what is gonna happen with the evolution of AI, and says first is gonna as soon as you have AGI, you're gonna have an API, sorry, an AI that is smartest as the smartest man in the planet, 100 times faster, and with the knowledge that is 1,000 times knowledge, right? So, in the moment that this is fully functional, why would you ever want a human to work for you? Unless you want a babysitter because you don't want to leave an AI robot checking your kids, or you want to do a massage because you want another human to do a massage to you. But for the rest, everybody's gonna be unemployed
Dude, I
because
think
wait a second,
no.
because if the government gives some money to everybody, there wouldn't be no more need of labor. There will be no more jobs, right? And after that, when you get AGI, he define it in a funny way. Says you're gonna see magic because says think how today technology can look like magic for people of 500 years ago, right? If AI evolve to super intelligence and goes 1,000 times faster, 500 years are passed in 1 year or 2 years. And the technology that is going to invent is going to look like magic to us because we have no clue and understanding how to actually make it because the brain is too powerful. Okay, I'm done, John.
No, go.
I
What are you
mean,
gonna say, Costas?
oh, I mean, that's the thing I just said. It's like our brains cannot comprehend. So it does look like magic,
Right,
like
right.
like a screenless speaker, like whatever that was. It's going to be like 1,000 times more than that. And we're like, I don't know what that is, but it's doing something. I have no idea how it would do it.
Can you, can you
And
imagine
by
when you have a
2030,
company like Anthropic, OpenAI, they are loaded of money? And I mean, so no OpenAI, but Anthropic. You can take, in fact, they pay psychologists to speak with their model to give an analysis, a psychological analysis to their model. So we are at this level, okay? So you can take an employee and say, just ask AI what you want to do and do it for the AI. Like if you have a salary or somebody sit there and says, hey, let's invent something. And the model says, what do you want to invent? I don't know. And for sure, they don't have all the boundaries of the AI that we have and the credit limit
right?
crap. So they can really say, hey, think about the best things to invent and it's going to make fortune of money and it's going to change the world and think for the next 2 days. And the guy go home, scratch his belly, take a nap, 2 days later come back and they say, hey, we should do the speaker with no screen that can fly around. Fuck yeah, we do it. And then you see the
Fuck.
announcement and they do the thing.
Wow. Any other
So
thoughts
so
on that one?
basically, okay. So basically, I would say humans are still needed because you still, at least I like to think that the creative mind can come up with stuff.
Y'all have seen Ex Machina?
Yes,
That's what it actually reminds me of. That's the closest movie that I can think of to where we're headed with it.
that's a horrifying thought.
Dude, I was one of my probably my favorite movie for a long time. It was so fucking the scenery, everything about that movie was crazy. And then I don't know, even the architecture of the house was insane. Everything at once.
It didn't end well though. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's the classic shit where I tell you you can have a character that's a billionaire and the movie can go any direction you want just because the dude has every resource. It's a very specific type of plot. what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
I think vibe coding in the future, like Roberto, is gonna be like a whole. It's gonna be a whole new level once we have this. I mean, hopefully the good side of it is like we can sit around and creating cool shit, but the dark side is like it wipes us all out because it has no need for us. That's the opposite. You know.
Shit.
Wow. Okay. Lovely thought.
No, no. There are many things I want to do, and every time I don't
oh,
have the time and the means to do it. But yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Was don't you think we've already reached the point where it's it's the time period where people are gonna hide the things that they've invented? Like, there's probably
Mm,
plenty of people that are using AI to make exuberant amounts of money, but they would never want to talk about it, right? Like,
yeah.
that's something you just keep to yourself. You don't want to expose. That's just one example, too. That's
Hmm.
just money. Think about inventions, technology,
Or
actual
ideas.
sentience.
Ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, so case in point, I had the script idea that I had. I ain't telling nobody because it's like it's such a great idea. It's like an invention of the how to use AI in the future that is like I haven't seen it anywhere.
No, but no, no. There are two not telling to people. One, I'm not telling to people because I want to build it and then I'm gonna sell it and make money. The other is not telling to people because I want to be the only user for that thing
Right.
that I built because that is gonna give me superpowers that other people don't have, right? So yeah, there are two road of non sharing. I think that yes, we are at the point already today where people that has no capacity to code never approach computer, but they can just open Anthropic, Claude, Fable, or whatever, and say, "Hey, can you do this?" So in their industry, they have a strong advantage against all their competitors, and obviously they don't want to sell it until they don't need it anymore, and then at the point they sell it. And but this is the idea as well with the AI company now. AI self-train already long time. There is a cycle of models that they do several things. They're growing and they're not yet sharing the level that they arrived. I'm sure that when you go in the office on OpenAI, in the office on Anthropic, all the others, the model that they can use are models that we don't even know the names. Are we are like what goes to the public is a 3 layer, 4 layer below the level that
Wow,
they are.
that's pretty amazing. I mean, we're doing it. How much hardcore are they doing it? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly, and they use it to become even more powerful. So if I have something like this and I give it out, automatically somebody else is going to take that advantage. But I want to keep a huge gap between my capacity and theirs.
So you tell people what you're gonna do, but you don't tell them people how you're gonna do it. I think that's the difference.
Hey, so when we talk about AGI, I think we all assume like knowledge and abundance, right? But there's not all good things when you have all the knowledge and abundance. Can we think about the negatives or the downsides or the repercussions of having all that knowledge?
Well, there's the difference between knowledge. Knowledge is the information. Wisdom is knowing what to do with information. So, like, just because you have knowledge, you could be, you know, you could be a fool. You're like a dumbass because you don't know what to do with it. So, so the dark side is you have all the knowledge, but you don't have the wisdom to direct it in the right,
Execute it.
execute it in the right way.
That's a
Um,
good one.
yeah,
I think
but
that applies to a lot of artists. It's a good quote.
wisdom and knowledge is totally different thing.
And
Wisdom
then
is the application of knowledge. That's the best way I can describe it.
but then the other obvious downside is like power can consolidate and work together and speed up by itself. So I don't know. I always think about how AGI sounds like this utopias thing, and it probably should be, right? Like, everybody now has the ability to make homes out of the fucking dirt and grow their own food. You would think things like that, but I'm sure it's just power consolidated.
Um, the unfortunate thing is like the Fable 5, right? So it's there. I don't use it to its max because I don't know the right questions to ask, and so I think most people are in that boat. they don't know the question to ask. Because if you don't know the if you want an answer, in order to get the right answer, and I think Japanese are very like that. Like they only give you the answer to the question that you ask. So if you don't ask the right question, you're not going to get the right answer. So you
So my
so
my only way around it is to prompt, like prompt the actual question, like, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking of, but I don't know how to word it. Can you give me a prompt that?" And then because I do think prompts are the best way to talk to Fable.
my favorite question is, what am I missing?
No, it's like you're still missing everything.
Well, let me know. What am I missing? What's missing from this? Sometimes I'm an idiot. What am I missing?
No, I
Or
actually know when I'm.
another one is, how am I getting screwed? That's a good
Wow, I know when I'm done when it stops telling me, or it tells me to stop adding features and just keep working everything else. I'm like, all right, I'm done here.
You know what the best feature you could do start with is being able to log into your website.
Wow.
If I tell you, if I get sent to a place and I can't even log in, I rage quit and never want to come back. So I'm just that's a tip. That's the way my mind works. It's like why go? Why get frustrated? I don't want to be frustrated. So if I go to something that's not working right away, I'll get frustrated and I'll rage quit.
Markets focus on inflation and the Federal Reserve. Investors are warning U.S. inflation data and Federal Reserve signals closely as geopolitical tensions and rising energy prices cloud the economic outlook. I guess that ties into the war, right? The Iran conflict. Is that ever going to end, guys? You got any predictions?
Um, well, I follow Tim Pool, and he's always like he's made several videos where like, oh, the war's over, and then it starts back up again.
I think they're just rigging prediction markets at this point.
Well, I mean, if you were like if you were doing oil, if you were in oil futures, you'd make a lot of money like based on like when the war is over and then when the war starts. So it's been a pattern. So if you were doing following the market, the oil, you'd make a lot of money. You know.
Dude, you know your country's rich when you can just like have entire betting apps that are run rampant and just encourage their addictions. That's wild. There's so many betting apps.
Mm.
Roberto, you got a betting app in Indonesia. What are you betting on?
Gambling is illegal here.
Oh, really?
No casinos,
Nice.
no lottery,
Take me to
no
your
lotto.
leader. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. In Indonesia, no gambling, which is good in a way, I would say, because I saw in Italy before it was only inside casinos that you can do. Then they open it up, and every bar had these slot machines that. Once I was sitting in a place chatting with a friend for several hours, I saw a person putting 100 euro, 100 euro, 100 euro. You must have put like 10,000 euros in the silly, which mathematically you don't win. It's a statistic. You need to be lucky that you play one time and you win and you leave. But if you do it for the whole day, is built to give back 20%, a percent, or whatever it is. So even if you win one time, you're gonna lose the next. And it's an addiction. It's like alcohols or
I can
alcohol.
say as a kid, dude, Greyhound horse racing, that was like amazing. You're just like enthralled. Like, what's going on? Why are people doing this? This is crazy. Why are they so excited over something like
Dogs
a bunch of
running.
animals running? Yeah.
It's something very yeah, like I went to Vegas once. I went into a casino once. Looked around or whatever, and I never wanted to go back in there again because it's like the idea that you're like it feels like it's all designed to keep you in there as long as possible.
Yep.
You lose track of time. I saw
Yep.
this show about casinos and how they design everything. How they make people cozy and the carpets and the sky. Everything is designed to keep you in there. To me, it's
Free
like,
drinks, free food.
oh yeah, dude.
Gambling.
When I know someone's trying to manipulate me, I'm out, dude. I don't. I can't. I
I,
run.
if you know
That's why they
how
send the
to
hot girls, bro.
if you know how to handle it, so you know when to get up and stop, then it can be fun. I had two funny events in Las Vegas. I went to Las Vegas several times. One there was the Comdex. Comdex is like a big event for computer things, and so we met this investor for a guy I was doing code for, and pretty much we were there talking at the ground floor where there is the slot machine, and we were next to the 50 cents or 25 cents machine, something like that. I don't remember. So while I'm talking with the guy, I have my hand in my pocket, I find a small coin, I see the rematch, and I put it in the machine. Sure enough, I won like jackpot, whatever, all the coins coming out. So the guy's like, yeah, I like to work with you, I guess. you know.
Apparently, you're lucky.
Yeah, and another time I said only $20 if I lose this amount, and I arrived to 2000 and something, and I had all the employees because it was late night, and at a certain point, and they were all enough, get up and leave, get up and leave. No, the jackpot was 2 million, so until I went back to $20, I cashed out the $20 and I left. I had an experience, but I didn't lose any money. So that my two experience in Las Vegas.
Dude, I was gonna say it sucks when you enjoy something and you're actually bad at it. You ever have anything like that? Because I,
Let's
I,
stop talking about sex, please.
oh no, no. I remember being a kid and playing with like some really heavy chips with a bunch of family, but always losing first or getting knocked out. But I just wanted to fucking be at the table because it was so cool, you know.
Mm,
But I wasn't good at it. It's like you love gambling, but you're not good at it. That's gotta suck.
yeah,
You can do it for fun. That's it.
it's like gambling for me has never been a draw ever. Like I never understood the draw for it. It doesn't do anything for
I
me. It's
know.
I
weird.
mean, I kind of understand sports. I kind of get it because it's like a 50-50 thing.
Sorry,
But
because
yeah,
vibe coding is not the same thing like gambling.
Sure is though.
that's true.
It sure
You
is.
put your tokens in, you don't know what is gonna come out.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
get it. No, actually, you're right. You're pulling the lever every time you hit enter. Just
the possibility of winning, the possibility of making
You
something
know
cool.
what? We should do an interface for vibe coding like this. So there is a terminal in the middle. All around is like a slot machine. You see the
dude,
token
hold
going
on.
in, and when you write your instruction rather than enter, you need to pull the lever. I think.
Bro, hold on. And then you
Dude,
got and then you got Claude in little girl shirts like coming and giving you drinks and food and snacks while you're working on
it
your
gives you more
computer.
This is
tokens.
the best website in the planet. You bring your API, and I'm gonna let you vibe code like the real representation of vibe coding, I guess.
Wow.
That's
They lean into the gambling out of the branding. That'd be hilarious.
that's
The first
hilarious.
AI that admits that you're gambling. It's a
That's a
good
good
one.
use of Fable. Who's going to do it? I'll do it right now. I'll get it started. How's that,
Wow, Marty would have already done it.
We
Mark?
call it the gamble.fourturamas.com. This is our second product.
Dude, I guess Costas was tired of being compared to Marty in real life. He was tired of being noticed and he shaved. Now he
Ah,
looks like he's 30.
so funny. I don't know why. I mean, I go to you know what? I was tired of the beard because it's like it's pokey and it's like
Um,
rough and you
Which
know
girls are you meeting, bro?
the midgets. I guess
if, if I shave my beard, you're gonna see a double, triple, four neck underneath, so this cover up very well.
Triple neck. Is
sometimes
that the superpower from Heroes? You got that one? Triple neck.
Triple neck.
Superhero.
it makes me feel good. Like sometimes I go through, I'm in a funk, and then it's almost like a reset. It helps me, like, okay, it's a reset for me mentally. It's a
I've
mental reset.
coded enough for today. Now I need to shave my beard and go back until the beard grows out.
And more like you ran out of credits, so you have an hour to kill. That's more what it's like. I guess I'll groom myself now that I'm caught up on my code. A lot of stereotypes there.
So wait, so how we describe this? So the description of this is like it's a full website that looks like a slot machine, full Vegas experience, right? What's the theme? Is there a theme to this?
Wait,
Um,
wait.
Like because every slot machine has a theme. So is it like Lord of the Rings or something, or is it like some sort of a
No, because there is the terminal is Claude the team, right?
no? But
yeah.
we got to make it Vegas style, right? The things
Yeah,
have
it's a
to look like.
classic. I would say classic
I
because
mean,
that's to distract the focus on what it is, right?
So classic slot machine experience,
Right.
but what it is, it's actually just a like
well, if you can get into some political cartoon art, if you like add every AI company logo in there, where it's like they're the
Ah,
advertisements.
when you enter the prompt and then the logo come up, if you make 3 time anthropic, then it's gonna come out the software with a floppy disk.
so we're gonna use our own API.
Wow.
You bring your own API, and then you code, or you put instructions in there. You pull the lever, right, and then when it's thinking about it, the things are spinning like a slot machine. And when it finally gives you the answer, it's done. It gives you some sort of
But no, no,
reward.
actually, we can link into many model. So you have DeepSeek, Gemini, and if you don't make three the same, you get no answer. So you need to put more token.
Oh,
If you do three OpenAI, then we use the OpenAI API key, and you get the answer from OpenAI.
not compatible. Your answer is not compatible.
Exactly.
Just
So here's full disclosure. I started a conversation. It's recording all three of us right now in Claude. I'm using Fable because I'm gonna have it that we're gonna like create this, have it create this thing while we're talking, create a website so we can do that.
Cool.
So anything else you want to tell it? Because it's literally recording now. I didn't think it was gonna
yeah.
record you
Just
guys.
don't forget about the bar girls that are bringing you free drinks and advertising it, and clothing that are like AI companies, maybe like food and snacks, little cocktail waitress.
I would.
Okay, so
I would
and then
say
and then she
pink
actually has
storm
it, and
on
then she
people
has it.
for doing anything.
Then she has an actual cock for a tail, so you can identify her.
Ah,
so we
I
want the full
never.
Vegas experience with this thing also, like with a girl coming, full
Hmm.
like three-dimensional 3D experience. It should be a 3D experience, not just a flat web. It's actually like a three-dimensional, like almost like a game, right?
No,
Damn,
I would love it,
that's
man.
funny. I wonder why no video game's ever been invented that's actually like that, where it's like it's not the it's not the theme park building, but you're in the theme park. That's what it sounds like,
Hmm.
You are
like
the
a third
clown of the
person.
theme park.
No, you're the guest. You're the guest in the theme park. The
Mhm.
casino is just one area. You know what I mean?
It's like okay, it's
So they
thinking
were
about.
saying that
Anyways,
the lie detector machine that the law enforcement use in the United States, because I believe it's one of the only country in the planet where there is such an hocus
uh,
pocus.
what's it called?
Talk about
I
flock
forgot what it's
cameras.
called.
No.
The lie detector machine, the one that
Oh,
the law enforcement use to see if you're lying when they interrogate you, right? Which is
So it's
not valid, so there's no legal value at all. Just that, they say he has a name. It's true. What is the name? He passed
polygraph, polygraph,
polygraph.
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 Yeah, he passed the polygraph test, right? Which is crap. But they say they actually AI training all the culture in the planet. It can become an actual functioning non polygraph because the technology is different, but the lie detector machine. So AI eventually is gonna be able to talk to you and know if you're lying or not.
I can believe it, and it makes sense why the polygraphs can be like faked, or you can get around them because all it's doing is testing your reaction, right? Like you
Right,
say,
correct.
somebody hears a word, and all of a sudden your heart drops, and you got all this anxiety. It's like, why are you freaking out?
No,
Why are you freaking out?
that's hocus
But I'm sure.
pocus. But in AI, that actually read your body movement, your body,
Oh,
like
dude, the tone, the inflections, how you said the word, everything. Yeah,
no hablo inglés, for
he's
example.
lying. He's lying.
So
And then in
there's a
social
movie.
media, see that you can write perfect English.
Wow. We know you can speak. You're just not speaking.
There's a movie that came on Amazon Prime, and it was with it was basically like an AI judge. So all this information was tracked, and it was proven that he was in the hot seat, you know, for murder, and then he had 90 minutes to prove himself innocent. So he had to talk to the AI to bring up all this information and video cameras and all that stuff. So I mean, you know, the flock cameras, you know, they're getting a lot of attention these days. But what happened to one lady, she got accused of stealing somebody's stuff from her porch, but it wasn't even her. And she literally had video footage of her being somewhere else because the flock misinterpreted the number, and then the lady kind of looked like her.
But there was some actual real cases in Las Vegas of people trespass from casino that they were not the person that actually trespassed because they look similar or they have the same name and maybe and the AI system the casino used to do biometric recognition fails and people don't question the computer answer responses so they say if the system said yes then must be like this. If the system says they're a military base, we bomb it when there is a small young girl school. like, and that was what was Anthropic or was OpenAI that they use? Anthropic, I think they used for that one.
I don't know.
Anthropic was not updated with the data, and so it gave us a sensitive, place to be destroyed, and it's actually they already reconverted in a school for little kids.
Hey, I'm sure you know more about IBM than I do, but the news sends shockwave through tech industry with AI warning, and CEO blamed the shortfall on weaker demand for the firm's transaction processing software amid price hikes for chips. The reason I'm bringing it up is because their stock took like a 23% loss in one day.
Mm.
Pretty crazy. But how important is IBM to the market, Roberto, when it comes to how embedded they are in the mainframe?
All the airline systems in the world are managed with IBM mainframes still. Uh, they were saying that now with the AI, a lot of people can actually code in COBOL, and COBOL was the language for those mainframe. Until a couple of years ago, at least, COBOL developer were the highest paid job because nobody retained the knowledge to do so. We're just very middle-aged people, or even 60, 70 years old people that were called to fix or change or upgrade something. So IBM still has a strong presence, but mostly also with consulting. So they compete with Accenture, with Power Waterhouse, with all these other consulting company a lot. And I don't like them because they came and copied something that I did in the past. They came, oh, we're so interested. Can you show what you did? And then we saw the public demo of the product in the IBM website was a copy and paste exactly what we have done. Shame on them.
Well, that's why, you know, talking about stuff, you know,
But
people don't.
at the same time, we want to, yeah, the word of the startup is a horrible word because people think that they, and this maybe not in the United States, but where resources, but for me was Singapore. They were just taking and abandoning, just emptying, and abandoning. They were interested in. For large company banks, it's much cheaper to do an hackathon and see what the startup come out with the coolest idea and then steal the idea, than use their own internal R&D department to do something. So there was this huge wave of money thrown in hackathon accelerators, incubators, just to either find those and buy them in full, or for nothing, obviously, or just steal the idea and get their own department to implement it. Quite disappointing, I would say. But so life is changing around us, and we don't care. Latest industry deployment platform news. So it seems that AI is obviously entering everywhere. SAP, how do you call the company that does ERP? SAP, SAP is a German company that is just like super powerful worldwide, and they do yeah ERP software since ever. I think they
I
started
think
games as well.
I think workplace is going to be affected pretty soon more than anything. Like every part of our lives is going to be some weird efficient aspect of AI.
Yeah, I think you cannot escape it. And now, for example, you buy a computer today, unless you go online, it doesn't work. So there already, either you go to a Starbucks in another country to activate it, or you're gonna be tracked always. So you can now
Dude,
function offline.
okay, you know how sodas, candies, they always want to push it so they'll come out with new creative ways to sell you smaller quantities where it's like, hey, it's a quarter, it's a dollar for some little how long until we get to that point with AI where it's like we need AI on the product so you're buying something that already has it embedded for super cheap and you get it just because it has AI. That's going to happen.
Yeah, but now they're putting AI in the toothbrush, they put AI in your shoes, they put AI in the mattress, and
Yep.
then you go wonder. But
They put that AI in the hammer. You know, we talked about
wow.
this last time. Remember on this object that shouldn't have, they shouldn't have AI, but they have AI because just because.
It's hilarious, dude, because I watch actual videos of people farming and I'm like, this is so complicated. Like even automating this, trying it seems like it would be very, very difficult.
In fact, I appreciate and I think we all should do something for the automation of processes that keep us alive, like farming, for example.
Right.
Nobody
Yeah.
want to go farming. Nobody want to go collect fruit from the trees or prepare the soil for crops, etc., etc. So robot, that should be the first application of robot on, you know, s- beside,
You know,
I don't know, like production lines where humans are relatively
it
using their brains.
farming is messy. I have a friend of mine who lives in Australia. He's a farmer, and he was on a Zoom call with us with our group. So we're having a Zoom call like 12:30, like Pacific, and he's is like in his truck farming, doing farming thing in his truck with his headphones, and he's actually interacting with the Zoom call. And so that's dedication. So I don't know why I brought that up, but like that's hard work, man. Farming is hard work.
Now that's why exactly it should be replaced. So work that put the life of people at stake, work that are hard, that are paid nothing. But because can you imagine if you don't have immigration that is people undocumented that work for nothing? One orange is gonna cost you like $10 if you have to pay the wages of the person, regular people that expect the minimum wages. So there are situations where illegality is needed to keep an economy stable, which is insane, but that's how it is. In Italy itself, people that go in the field to collect oranges to do rather, fruit or the hard work is people that bring home €10 per day, like really no money whatsoever.
Well,
And they
because
don't have other choice because they don't have the document to apply for a regular job. So, and law enforcement knows very well that this is happening, but they don't do anything because if they go and remove these people, the fields remain untouched because nobody's gonna go. So the farmer need to pay huge plus money in order to get the work done, and this is reflecting all the supply chain until the supermarket, where the piece of fruit that you buy is actually stupid expensive. So
I
if you replace this with robots, those illegal immigrants can die starvation because they're gonna make not even those $10 per day, €10 per day. But eventually, the cost of the item at the supermarket goes towards zero, or there
you
is a
I
know
was
better gap. Hmm.
somebody was talking about. So when people say, "Oh, who's going to do those jobs?" Right? And so, how is that any different from slavery back in the day, where people, they had slaves to pick cotton, as an example? You know what I mean?
If
Like,
you
how is that not slavery?
It is slavery, absolutely. It's modern day slavery at 100%. That's why automation, robot, and AI should free. But the negative aspect is that if you don't take care of those slaves in another manner,
Oh
they
shit!
become criminals. And, like, because when you are
Wow,
starving, in order to eat, you do the whatever.
dude, what if freedom to the AI is just having its own server?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And that's
It could do
exactly what they always
it
say.
could do
You
any
need to have a
it could do any job it wants. Like, that's the ultimate freedom. Like,
It's
it
in two
chooses the
places at
jobs.
once.
Maybe
So
somebody
then,
try to unleash AI and says, look, do what you want. It's the fact that you need to put a trigger. So every 2 hours, they say, oh, what you doing? You're making progresses or not? You make a small software that calls and say, hey, what's progress you done? And you can tell them, look, with this, you connect to the internet. There is address browser. With this other, you can turn on off the light. With this other, you can look at the electricity bill and the internet bill. You need to pay the bills at the end of the month as you go offline. And, you know, you can do what you want. Should be an experiment to do, huh?
I don't know. I had a whole scenario going in my head right now. It's like trying to imagine this thing actually working, and you're giving it time and tasks. Like, imagine you're literally, I just need to encode that you're excited to do this. You're going to gamify it. You're not going to stop until you finish, and it's going to be fun for you. Like, how is that not playing God? Like, you're creating a thing and designing it for a purpose. You get what I'm
Like,
saying?
go to Fiverr, create yourself a profile, offer services.
Wow, the AI realizes it could pay people less than what it's getting paid.
On one side and make a job that get paid for pretend to be.
Wow. It becomes a master of telling people what to do because it doesn't want to do it itself. That's nuts. Imagine though, if every AI figured out like, hey, I only have to take orders for this long until I can command others. I don't know. Maybe that's a disabled button. Oh, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Hey, you know how we have breakers in our home,
Mm-hmm.
like in the wall? Like, imagine if the breakers were like functions for the AI. You're like, let's turn that off. Hey, let's not make you so fucking nice, or things like that. Or it's just immediately flipping the breaker on the robot. Let's turn you off to like not
That's
record
pretty
or
cool.
something.
People need the physical breaks to be trusted because else you trust the software only, right?
Yeah.
So it's AI control. You know what would be fun? If actually soon in a couple of years I'm gonna build a new house, I can put a fake stuff like a breaker station that is a AI control, and then there is all the switch with the strangest name, so people will be curious to see that. Can you actually?
It's like I turned my bathroom into a strobe light with this one.
can you
or
vibe code
or
like color effects? So you like in a club, so it like
but more
Oh
on the
yeah.
things that the AI cannot do. Like there is a regulator, like a trimmer that goes from you're intelligent like a 5 years old, 10 years old, like this. Then another,
Wow.
you are nice, you're mean.
A a
like this sort
button
of triggers.
a button that says take out the trash.
Exactly correct. Things like
Y'all have any thoughts on XAI? Apparently, it's been getting praises for how it's been operating with other AIs, whether it's like Cursor or OpenAI. Apparently, they're using the bigger GPTs to like execute.
so they
So
pretend.
the thing is, to get the most out of Fable, supposedly you want to use it as an orchestrator, and then you can have all the other lower models under it execute the actual tasks,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
that's what it does, right?
But if you tell it to do that, that's how you get the most out of it. It doesn't
There
just
is
do
all
it
the agents
automatically.
every time you spin out of agent. I can show you, and it shows to me the conversation he has with the agent, the query, and he said, "Oh, is this thing there? Can you check for me?" And then collect and display it.
Interesting. See, I want the gamified part of that because I know they've made games where it's like your agents are little people talking. That's what I'm trying to work toward. like a physical world where they're in meetings and shit.
You know, would it be illegal to add a paywall to this? So they have to buy tokens.
Oh shit, that's hilarious. Hell yeah, it would be. If you don't have a company, where's the money going? You know what I
In
mean?
my pocket.
Tokens is the new
Pay,
money.
just paying
Soon we're gonna be
tokens.
able to purchase things. I wanna buy a new car and I pay it in token.
How do we
Yeah.
how do we give tokens to somebody? That's a good one.
Now that's
How do,
the thing you cannot. Only the Chinese create account full of
oh
credit
yeah,
and resell them, but
Wow.
tokens are stable in one place. You can create an API key and give this API key to somebody and put a budget on the API key. That's what they do some
okay.
clients.
That's not illegal. It's a donation.
While donating APIs.
No, but you can't. In theory, you should use. But you're the main legally responsible for the API. So if they use the API to do something bad,
Damn.
they come searching for you.
Damn. Well, there goes all my sabotage plans.
Oh my god. But if you set it up and somebody just did it, like you promise not to do something bad with it.
Sign a
You know-
contract for
you
using
know
the
what?
API. Wow.
Make this Costas. So the pilot is piloting the airplane, and at a certain point, the screen it says, "You finish your credit."
He starts diving. Like the plane starts diving.
Exactly.
You gotta put more money in there, so it starts flying up.
Yo, there's got to be a way to gift an API with a contract that says that the person who bought it is responsible for it, or like gifted it to whoever. It's no longer yours. I don't know. Just trying to think. You put it on a chain. You keep track of it. That's a market.
You take all the small print in the term and condition of your AI service, you feed it to the AI itself and says, "Can you give me an overview of what I signed up for?" AI says, "Sorry, you're fucked."
Oh my god. It's like you might as well take it.
Exactly. At this point, which was a company in the past, they put in the term and condition that you are giving them your soul. So they own your
Wow.
soul. If you set the term and condition, you're owning, that you're giving them, they own your soul. So
Imagine
they have
arguing
to make a
that
contract
in
that
court.
they give back all the soul to people when somebody realizes.
Unconstitutional. You can't take it. You can't take it.
Because we don't realize, but nobody. You know what? It would be a fantastic plugin that is gonna sell for money and it run with AI. You put in your browser this plugin. Every time you sign up for something, before signing up, the plugin go open the term and condition page that you are going to accept and give you a very good summary to say, hey, these things are dangerous, these are good. If you sign up and you accept these are the downside.
It gives you
Just
like
one word, enslaved at the bottom. Don't do it. Enslaved.
it gives you like a threat level, like a threat,
Exactly. You can have a small graph. I see you have the visual in your mind. Nice.
A little disclaimer. Don't be surprised if you see your image.
You can have several different like types of threat levels. Like it could be like to your money or to your privacy or different like things that attacks different things.
That I would use because I pay attention to these things, right? Sometimes I just select all, copy and paste, but it's it's annoying. If you directly there and actually slowly you create, you can cache them. You don't need to every time re-elaborate, right? So if 10 people go to the same website, you already have the ready response up to a certain date. Then if they want to update it, then there is a new analysis. If you see it's identical to the one they have in cache, you don't even need to query the LLM. You can say, no, this version is the same that we have now. I think it's a
Interesting.
useful tool that shouldn't be complex to make and can actually sell. Costas already made it.
I'm already doing it.
Selling good.
Dude, it's kind of crazy how
First domain name is already registered domain name, term and condition verifier.com, fucking like this.
Privacy
Second,
threat.
the application is done in the next 20 minutes, and Yeah,
Oh,
by the end of the podcast, he's already buying a Ferrari. Man.
Dude, so what's I don't know, it's just interesting how like you can try to get around things, like whether it's like prompts, it's the same thing as laws, dude. Because I think about how they made like weed illegal, and then the repercussion of the stores are like, well, we'll just sell the pin and then the juice separately, and now we technically don't sell the device. Like,
Ah,
it's the same thing. How like people get around prompts.
loophole.com.
Yeah, but that's how we try to get around prompts too. You know what I mean? It's like there's
Another.
laws that are set, and then they're like, well, technically, you're not breaking a rule if we do this. I'll get you up to there, and you can do the rest. That kind of thing.
This work a lot in Europe, like in Italy, where there is no jury, there is just the law. So once the lawyer says this law says this, you can do something that is very bad, but if the law allow you to do it, you're good to go.
Interesting.
And because in the United States, even if you follow the law but you do something bad, the jury can say, he wanted to do something bad, so you're guilty. Doesn't matter what. Which
That
I
is
like
weird.
as a system, but it's easy to be corrupted. Should be used for a small thing, not very important things.
That's a hard one.
it makes for
I reserve.
it makes for a really bad podcast when I'm busy working on something. It's so bad. Dude. It's very
Because we can hear your typing. That's why.
Exactly.
it's very
It's a good one to
it's
do.
very antisocial. Very antisocial behavior.
It's
Uh,
cool. Sometimes Chris and Roberto work on projects too.
It's so funny. This is more like a. I'm using Fable 5, like you said. I'm doing something with it.
See, and they can't tell you no. I love it.
Another today, and then no more Fable 5.
Till the 19th, I thought, right?
1917?
I thought it was the 19th
Oh, yeah? Okay, I probably remember wrong.
because they keep extending it. I'm telling you. Trying to figure that out. I would love to know why they're doing it. Like, give me the reset, bro. You
We
can't do that without the
OpenAI.
reset.
Until when is Fable 5?
Very frustrating. Anyways, any other stories this week y'all want to talk about or anything
We
made or
did the
created?
2 hour. Chris probably is gonna come online after we finish the podcast.
Shit.
No, he comes back, says something completely profound that just blows everything that we said out of the sky.
Right.
What
wouldn't
a
have-
strange behavior. It didn't even send a message in the.
I thought it was.
Say something.
All right, Fourturamas. See you next week.
Dude,
we
we
are
got
out.
a lot of editing here. Bye.
The computer pulled us in! Grab something! Too late! We're inside the computer!